Welcome, Mr. Kirk. It's nice to have you on. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Hey, my pleasure to be here. You know, we all have beards. I think a beard revival is what's happening.
Mm,
I mean,
It's
what
not
is
just
a
a spiritual
lion?
revival.
What is a lion without its mane?
that's it.
Right?
I know.
I mean, whoever thought this was a good idea to keep men looking like boys? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
You've had a
mine's
beard
just
for a
now
while.
growing back. Yeah, mine's just now growing back. I had the mustache just a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, we've got words for people who don't have beards: women and children.
Women and you know, it's funny
Mm.
because when I first met you, you did not have a beard, Kirk. You did
No,
not
I
have a beard
didn't.
years
No,
ago.
my wife said I could grow one.
I love it. I love it. Because I was gonna say, like 10 years ago, you were very much beardless. Very
Yeah.
much beardless.
Yeah.
Beardless bro.
So
Yeah, because I
I-
actually,
so
I was like, I recognized you, like, once I started following you here recently, like a year or two ago, I always thought you looked familiar. And then the Left Behind, I
Yeah.
seen it somewhere, and I was like, okay, that's where, yeah, totally, you look totally, well, the
That's
longer
right. I
hair, the no
terrified you as
beard.
a child. You thought you were going to wake up
I was
one morning
actually,
and your
I was
parents were going to
actually
be
gonna,
gone.
I was actually gonna bring that up. I was like, that scar, like I can't remember because we watched it in the church I grew up in. We watched that and the Passion of the Christ in the church I grew up in, and I was,
I know,
man,
man.
maybe 5 or 6 or something like that. And then I was
That's right.
like,
That's right. You know, between Left Behind and and the teaching on hell, we traumatized a lot of kids.
I was just gonna say, I mean, Kirk, you've been at the forefront of a lot of traumatizing moments. I mean, and you did 3 Left Behinds. There were 3 of those films to traumatize people.
Yeah, there were three. People always ask me if they're going to do all of the books and turn them all into movies, and I don't think that's going to be the case. Different groups of
Well, there's like
people who wrote the
17 books,
books
isn't
who
there?
made the movies. Yeah, yeah.
are
A lot
they?
of books.
So I wasn't sure. Like, were you just acting in those, or were you part of like the writing and the producing side of the films? I don't know who even.
I
Yeah.
was just acting in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I just played a part. Somebody else wrote them, directed them, all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, you
So
honestly, I don't even know where to start here because there's a million things to talk to you about, but the thing that this Hellgate thing, right? Right now, this Hellgate thing is a big thing, and this Hellgate, tell people, for those who don't know, you got yourself into like a little bit of trouble. Is that the word I would use?
yeah,
Trouble?
yeah. Well, remember,
Public trouble?
so Hellgate is something that just happened like last weekend, and it just dropped a couple of days ago. And I call it Hellgate because the subject of hell has scandalized a lot of people. So, you know, you got Watergate, you got Russiagate. This is about political corruption. This is about, right, like secret agendas. And the topic of hell is one that has been debated for 2,000 years. And there are some people who feel so strongly about what happens to people in hell that they'll call you a heretic if you don't agree with them.
Yeah.
And they put it on the level of something like the resurrection or the gospel itself or the authority of scripture. And
Like a
for
salvation
2,000 years,
issue.
good and godly men have been debating what actually happens to the
Mhm.
wicked who reject the gospel. Are they twisting and turning in fire where worms are eating them for eternity? Or is that symbolic imagery to describe full and final destruction of the wicked, as seen in Sodom and Gomorrah and other places where we read of fire and smoke that ascends forever and ever and ever. So it started out not as controversy. It was just a father-son conversation with my
Yeah.
son on my podcast. And it just, well, frankly, I caught hell for it.
You did.
Yeah.
I
No
mean,
pun.
no pun intended or pun
Yeah.
intended. I mean, I mean, I saw it, right? And I reached out to you and I texted you and we talked about it. And I was, you know, when I saw it, I thought to myself, I was like, okay, this is interesting because people did treat you like you were basically renouncing Christianity. I mean, that
Yeah,
was like
because
literally.
right, right. It was like, well, somebody on I think it was on X or something. They posted something, and it was a tiny little clip from the conversation I had with my son, and the caption was basically, you know, Kirk um, changes his mind about hell, and so everybody assumed that what he was saying was that I was denying that hell was even real, like I was pulling a full Rob Bell, right? That I was just going to be like, nope, everybody's going to heaven. That's not what I was saying at all. Heaven is real. Sin is serious. The wrath and punishment of God is full. It is eternal. But how does it actually unfold? And church fathers and modern scholars have debated these things. And I would like to see this topic safe to debate and understand, because honestly, it calls the character of God to the table. And it makes us ask really hard questions. I mean, Dr. Albert Mohler even said that this is, I believe it was like an attack on the gospel or on the nature of God. And
Like what you said was an attack on the gospel. Like he was saying,
yeah, or a position that differs from the traditional position. But again, for those of us who are Protestants, we need to go to the Bible and say, what does it really say? I appreciate church tradition, and we cannot ignore what 2,000 years of church history has said. But if we really go back and we're honest with it, prior to Augustine, we had views of conditional immortality or annihilationism as an orthodox view, and scholars today are returning to this position as a more scriptural position and a more balanced position. It's not going soft on judgment. And so I said, let's have a deep dive roundtable with 4 brilliant scholars from around the world. Let's call it Hellgate. We won't avoid the difficult questions, open up the scriptures and appeal to the Bible and say, what does it really say about the fate of the wicked? Because it matters to the people that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope people will watch it. I've talked to so many people and I've asked them, what do you believe about hell? And they'll tell me, I'll say, well, why do you believe that? And they're like, I don't know. I've never questioned it. It's just what I've always been taught. And if I question it, I think that's kind of the same thing as saying I don't believe the Bible. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. There's mystery here, and there's difficulty in understanding some things. So this is an opportunity for us to be good Bereans, to be iron sharpening iron, to know why we hold the positions that we hold, and so that we can answer our neighbor when they say, how could a loving God punish somebody just for not believing the gospel with eternal torment? That doesn't seem fair, they will say. How do we answer questions like that when your children are asking those things? And if your children are not embracing the gospel, what will happen to them when they die? And how are these questions sitting with you?
Yeah. Well, you can't learn if you don't question things. So, I mean, that's my view. Well, in my view on it, I don't have me and Billy talked about this a little bit earlier. I don't know really where I sit on it. I mean, I've seen both sides of the fence, but all I know is when Jesus talks about it, he just makes it known that you definitely don't want to go there.
Yeah.
And so that's just that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's up with heaven, down with hell.
Yeah.
Jesus said, right? Like, cut off your hand, cut off your foot, gouge out your eye. Would be better to lose them and go to heaven than to have all of them and go to hell. And then he uses language there, which is a call back to Old Testament imagery in Isaiah 66, where you see all of this flame and that don't die, and these worms that don't die. And it's this picture of awful, terrible judgment. And these are the kinds of passages that we dive into to try to understand what is hell and death and Hades and Sheol and Gehenna and the lake of fire and the second death. These are really interesting topics, and that's what Hellgate is all about.
Yeah. So your Hellgate thing, which is so interesting, that you got these guys together, right? And you're having this debate, and like to your point, Dalton, like we've got to be able to talk about things. If we can't sit down and talk about it and ask questions, that's a dangerous thing. And I think we've kind of moved to this place where people don't want to have any real conversation about anything. And so you don't even, Kirk, I don't want to speak for you, but do you even have, like Dalton said, he hasn't landed on one. Have you landed on a position with this where you're kind of like, this is where I stand?
I'm deeply persuaded by the conditional immortality position, which is really surprising to me because, again, I had never even heard of any other position than the traditional position. And so is it just new to me, or is it something that is really scripturally based? Well, unless I've got a blind spot, I'm leaning toward the direction of Martin Luther and John Stott and Edward Fudge and others, and that's why it's such an interesting topic to me, because at the end of the day, I can trust that God is going to always do what is right and just, and everything will be in line with His character, His mercy, His love, and His justice. So that's not in question. But when somebody asks me uh, whether or not hell is Dante's Inferno with a devil and a pitchfork with horns on his head and fire and flames roasting people in a barbecue for eternity, I now have enough knowledge to say, no, not even the people today who believe in eternal conscious punishment believe that this is figurative language in the book of Revelation. And we have that kind of language in the Old Testament as well that Jesus referred to. And it's referring to something awful and miserable and a deprivation of everything that is good. You want to avoid it at all costs, and the cure is the gospel. But the very nature of that punishment and how it unfolds, is it an experience that lasts for eternity, or is it the result of a judgment like death and execution that is full and final and eternal? That's
Which is
the
also a form
debate.
of hell. I mean, is it not a form of hell to be and I'm not saying, because I don't, my position has always been the traditional one, but if the idea is that you're going to be wiped out forever and that's it, that's a form of hell to me. I mean, it's a form of, it's actually more terrifying in some ways to think that you would cease to exist forever. I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at on. I know what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, I mean, if hell is separation from God, I mean, you can look at it from both ways. Like, you can be gone forever from Him, or you can be just absent from His presence in an eternal. So that's just kind of where my brain's at. Like I said, I don't really know which side I'm on yet, but that's kind of where my brain works with it. So
yeah. Well, yeah. I think everyone will find it wildly invigorating intellectually and emotionally and spiritually to watch Hellgate, because you have guys who know a lot about this topic that bring up points that you may not have thought of. So I was just thrilled. And I think the best part about the whole thing was to see the love and respect that they had for one another, even though they sharply disagreed about what they thought the Bible taught. They agreed on the important essentials. They agree on the gospel. They agree on the Bible. They agree on heaven. They agree on the resurrection and all of these essential issues. But when it comes to this, they've landed differently, and you can see why they landed there. And a lot of it has to do with the emphasis and the focus. Is it on the weeping and the gnashing of teeth? Is it on restlessness and torment? Or is it on the forever and enduring nature of something as permanent as death?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I saw Wes Huff commented on your Instagram post just saying he loved this whole discussion, that all of you were his friends, that it was really cool to see it. And I thought we need more of that. Like, we need to be able to talk about this stuff freely.
Well, has he had a take on that? Like, if you talked to him,
he defended Kirk.
Okay.
He defended
so
Kirk's
because
position.
I only ask him out of anybody else just because of his, like, I mean, that dude reads more the actual old Greek literature and stuff than I've ever seen anybody do. So, I mean, he's a historian.
Kirk, he didn't take your position, right? But he defended that your position existed and was one that was historical.
That it was historic, that it was robust,
right.
It was based on scripture and not on emotion. Okay. And that for anyone to say that this is outside the pale of orthodoxy is just incorrect, maybe ignorant, or maybe they've got an axe to grind. But this is a really important position, and for me, it answers some important questions if it's true. I mean, look, I don't want to stand before God and find out that I have misrepresented His character in any way. Wrong on this side.
That's actually terrifying. That's terrifying.
I don't want to be that guy, and so I want to do what I can to understand the issue, so I can honor Him, and so I can properly present His character to unbelievers.
No.
Yeah,
I'm right there with that. That is a terrifying thing.
I know. I'm like thinking about it.
And the wonderful thing is that we can smile knowing that God will do what is right and what is just, and we don't have to experience hell. I mean, we have Jesus who paid the penalty for our sin on the cross,
Mhm.
and we have the gift of eternal life as believers in the gospel. And
Yeah.
I want to do what I can to make sure that my kids are coming with me
Yeah.
and that my neighbors are coming with me.
Yeah.
Same
And
here.
that's the goal in everything, right? And everything that we do. It's like,
But so many people, at least my age, they're just so focused on whether they're wrong or not, that they're just so focused on only being right, not actually focused on, well, are you truly saved? Do you actually truly know Jesus, or do you just want to be right about one topic? That's something I face a lot of, and it's really hard for the know-it-alls my age, and I'm not one of them. I get things completely wrong all
well,
the time, but
yeah, you are wrong
things
a
like
lot. That's true.
yeah, things like this. I mean, I can have a conversation with and not get mad or accuse somebody of totally misrepresenting God, but there's just so many. I have to be right more so of wanting to make sure you're on the road to salvation. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's every generation too, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess I really only say it 'cause, I mean, when I have these conversations is with most people my age, and they only want to be right. So
yeah.
it doesn't matter. You're
Well,
not going to heaven or hell, Kirk, if you're right or wrong on this, right? Like, this is not a salvation issue.
Well, essentially, no, it's not a salvation issue. I think we can all agree on that. However, um, you could say that in a way, this is a salvation issue for the unbeliever who sees it as the primary obstacle to the gospel. Do you see what I'm saying? They're saying, how can I believe your Christianity when your Christianity says something that makes no sense to me? That sounds unfair. That sounds
mhm.
like it can't be the way God is. I'd rather go with the Hindu God. I'd rather go with karma. I'd rather go with something that makes more sense to me. So while those other false systems are not the answer, the scriptures are the answer. And so we've got to do the best we can to understand what they say so we can communicate the reasonableness of all of these things. And some things we're not going to be able to understand. It doesn't have to be reasonable to somebody in order for it to be true. I mean, how do you explain the
Yeah,
Trinity? I can tell you that we have three persons in the one Godhead. We have a Trinitarian God, but I can't tell you how 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. So not everything is
totally.
going to fit within the box of logic and reason.
Yeah,
Some things we understand because they're true and we understand them by faith, but there are other things that we have lots of data on, and I think we can all agree that hell is real, sin is serious, and the gospel is the cure.
Yeah.
amen.
I love it. I love it. You know, I don't want to do like a sudden topic shift, but I do have to ask, when you look at your life, Kirk, it's kind of crazy because you've done all this stuff and you're doing so much in theology and helping people now. But when I think about you and acting and the entertainment stuff that you did, did you ever think, even when you were a strong Christian and still kind of coming out of Hollywood, that you'd be here doing the kind of stuff you're doing now? Because it's kind of wild. Like, you're leading conversations on a lot of this stuff.
Billy, you
Lord,
read my mind. I was wanting to go to
Lord.
this.
I'm following the conversations that were started by lots of other people, a lot of old dead guys that are very thoughtful, that love God, that are way smarter than any of us. But these are the things that matter, and that's why these conversations endure. It's why these debates never end, because
Mhm.
what's more important or meaningful than religion and politics anyway? I mean, at the end of the day, that's the stuff we're going to fight about. It's the stuff
Yeah,
that gives meaning to life. It's the stuff that determines the kind of world our kids are going to live in. So we got to get involved. If we don't, then that leaves the world that leaves the world in the hands of wicked people.
mhm.
It leaves all of the decisions to be made by people with lesser ideas. And so we're the ones that are supposed to shine the light. So let's get
Yeah,
involved in religion and politics. Let's understand who God is and the world that he made and why we're here. I think once we understand that, we can talk to our kids about it, and then we have hope for the future.
amen.
Mm. Yeah, you also love to get yourself in trouble though, because at Halloween we had a Halloween conversation too. Now I'm thinking about
What
this.
did I
We've had
do
a
at
bunch of
Halloween?
conversations. You just,
Oh, I leaned
mean,
into Halloween. That's right.
You leaned into Halloween. That's what you leaned in. And I think you and I did we had like a whole segment on it. And, you know, you're not afraid of topics. That's the point. Like, you're not afraid to talk about difficult things that are going to upset people.
You know, I had fun at Halloween. I think I topped off the whole Hallowtide weekend with I went down to Target and I got one of those 18-foot tall skeletons, those really scary ones that you see like at Home Depot and stuff. And I put a chain around his neck and I tied it to the back bumper of my Ford truck. And I had a big red Christ is King flag over the top of my truck. And I just drug him through downtown Nashville and a bunch of other cities in front of Starbucks and Waffle House and everything else, just saying that Christ has triumphed over the powers and principalities and the demonic realm. He is victorious. And we don't need to hide worried that a demon's going to jump out from a bush and do things. Is there evil in the world? Of course, absolutely. People's hearts are wicked and deceitful above all things. But Jesus came to destroy the works of the devil, and he has conquered his enemies. That's why he's sitting on the throne at the right hand of the Father.
That's it.
Did
did that stir up anything? I didn't hear about that happening.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'd have joined in.
And that was after we we tangled with the drag queens at the public libraries, and Billy and I talked about that too.
Basically, what happens is Kirk comes up with an idea. I see Kirk is going to do something. I'm like, Kirk, can we talk about the thing you're going to do?
It's my friends and my kids.
Right.
It's brave books, writing these awesome Christian books that I go read in the public library, and then the drag queens get mad at me. And then my son asks me a question about hell, and the church gets mad at me. I
want to thank all these people. I want to thank all these people because every time I get a chance to talk to you about something ridiculously interesting, it's you're always going to get a phone call from me like, hey, can we get on and talk about this? But no, you did that at Halloween, and you've done it. I mean, there've been other topics too that you've done it on. Do it. Oh yeah, I did a video with him on it.
You got to do it.
Find the video. We did a video in like October on that.
That's
at CBN, but. It's so interesting to me though, because just like looking at the history, is there any part of you, I mean, you still do entertainment projects and you've made a lot of films over the years. Like, where are you on all that? Do you see yourself doing a lot more in that space still? Obviously you've been doing different things. You have a show now for kids and stuff, but like, what are you looking at in the future on that front?
You know, Billy, I never dreamt about being an actor. I started when I was 9 years old because my mom sort of just drugged me into it and I liked it. It was fun. I did Growing Pains and my career kind of took off. I always wanted to be a doctor, go to school and, operate on
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How did I not know that? I've interviewed you 1,000 times. I've never heard you say that. Wow.
Yeah. So acting and being a celebrity and all that stuff, just never been on my radar, but I look back and I go, well, God had a purpose in all of this. But if you look at the stuff that I love to do, I love to learn about history and our country and politics and faith and theology, and then how to download that into building a good world for our kids. And that's why I'm at the library with Brave Books, reading stories, contra, all of the garbage and the twisted stuff that's out there. And now I'm doing a kids television show called Iggy and Mr. Kirk. And that's our attempt at bringing Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to families of this generation. Teaching our kids about identity from God's perspective, about the sacredness of the unborn, about the importance of family and trusting God. So it's awesome to be able to blend all these opportunities in the media and in Hollywood with good ideas and right theology. It builds better worlds.
Yeah.
By the way, I watched the first episode ever. I think it was Growing Pains the other day.
Yeah.
It was I think that's what it was when you were young, like really young, like teen.
Oh,
maybe?
yeah. I was like 14.
Yeah. It was the episode when you wrecked the dirt
bike. It was the 80s.
What did I do?
The dirt bike episode.
Oh, the dirt bike episode. Oh, yeah. Where I put the pillows in my sweatpants because I tore up my rear end so bad.
Yeah. And your dad got that new bike or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just watched that one.
This is classic TV, Billy. You got to go back and see it.
Wait, I mean, do you remember all these episodes? Like,
oh, yeah,
just said the dirt bike episode, you're like, oh yeah, the pillows. You remember all of it?
I remember all of that, but I can still watch the episodes and laugh. I look at myself and I go like, oh my goodness, I look just like my son, but I don't remember any of the lines, and so I'll laugh at my own jokes. I don't know what's going to happen in the story. I just remember the pillows and the sweatpants because I crashed my bike.
Yeah.
Amazing. When you look back, all right, so like when you look back to just at a lot of people have come into like finding you where you are now as a Christian, and I think back to your career and your story and how you kind of found Jesus and all that. Like when you think back, what advice would you give to somebody who's watching this or listening to it? Did you hunt that, first of all? I got to stop what I was asking. Did you hunt this thing?
Yes.
It's kill, not hunt.
Whatever.
Well,
nobody will give me
that's
one.
It. He said, "Rise, kill, and eat." Peter.
Yep, that's it.
That's
so.
Right.
I'm gonna put you on the spot because now I feel like I would like to go hunting with you, Kirk
Come
Cameron.
on,
will you
go.
take me
I know
hunting?
some guys with some really big beards down in Louisiana. They'll put you on some ducks, on some deer, on some hogs.
Say no more.
That's
I've told
Dalton's
Billy
dream.
to get me on, man.
This is Dalton's dream.
I've been hunting. I've been
too.
hunting since I could hunt as a kid, man. Yeah. So I'm a big turkey hunter.
What you're saying, Kirk Cameron, is that we are all going to go hunt down in Louisiana at some point. That's what you're saying. You made that offer. I'm just clarifying. All right.
Oh man, you get some duck poppers in there where you wrap them up with a little bit of jalapeno and cream cheese, a little bacon, put them in the oven. Ooh.
I'm here for this. We should film
this. I want to kill. I've been wanting to kill a gator for so long. Every time me and my buddy go to Florida, we try to just grab one if we can, but it don't work.
You country boys are crazy. I mean, grabbing gators. Right? I mean,
not like we're gonna catch like a gator bigger.
What are you
going to
do with it? What are you going to do with it when you're going to grab it?
I can say it on here because
he's going to make a pair of boots. He's going to make some.
Definitely going to eat it. Have you ever had gator tail?
I don't know. Like what do you?
Yeah.
Have you ever had?
You know what? You know when I go duck hunting at this great little there's a bird sanctuary in Louisiana that I get to go to a real special place with the Robertsons at times and a friend who owns it. And we go wait in waders up to our waist in this freezing cold water at Christmas time, and we stand out there right at dawn when duck season is open. But then he told me, "Hey, you know what you got to do is come back in the fall. We'll go gator hunting." I go, "Great. Where do we hunt those?" And he's like, "Right here." I mean, that log you stepped over about 10 feet ago. He's like, "That wasn't a log. That was probably a big gator. But don't worry, it's cold in the winter and they're hibernating." That was the last time I got in that water. I'm like, I'll see y'all in the boat.
Yeah, he'd be jumping in to grab them.
I mean, these are like 14-foot gators in the water. You guys are crazy in the South.
They are crazy.
Well, the thing is, I would be more hesitant to do that because I'm not raised around gators. But definitely, if there's one this big, I'm grabbing it if I can.
All right.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. I had a real question at one point for you. Oh, it was just basically like, what would your advice be to people who are young and you're having all these people come to faith right now, and based on where you were, what it was that brought you over the line, what would you say to people who are questioning right now? They haven't quite come to faith. They're looking at all these different things and they're trying to figure out what they think. What would you say to them to help bring them over the line?
Bring them over the line. What? Like they're questioning their faith or their gender or what? What are you talking about?
Well, not their gender. They're questioning their faith. They're wondering, like, is there more? Like, have I been lied to? Is there a God? I can't even take you seriously with this. But what would what would you say to them? What would you say to them?
Oh, I'd say, hey, come on over to my house. I'll make a campfire in the backyard. We'll sit down. Let's just, let me make you a burger. Let's just sit down, have a cigar.
Sounds good.
And just talk about it. What's your biggest questions? What's getting in the way? I mean, look at those stars. How do you think those things got up there? How did the universe begin? Who's keeping your heart beating at night while you're sleeping? What came first, your heart, your lungs, or your blood? Because if you evolved over millions of years by these gradual incremental changes through evolution, then you know what? The whole system doesn't work unless you have all three at the same time. This is this idea of irreducible complexity. There is so much more needed to account for the world that we're in than exists in your atheistic worldview. Frank Turek said it. You need more faith to be an atheist than you do to believe in God. And for me, I just couldn't ignore the evidence any longer. And a little bit of science will lead you away from God, but a lot of science will just rocket you back to God. And the
Absolutely.
smartest people that I know are just blown away by the big things in the sky and the tiny things under the microscope. And they know that the only way that we can get there has got to be through God. And yet in his providence, he doesn't eliminate faith from the equation. Um, it's a gift that he grants to the humble, and he resists the proud. So I'd say if you're trying to get to the bottom of things, man, just look around you. There's a creation out there. I believe that there's a creator, and your conscience tells you that you've sinned against God. You're going to need his forgiveness. Unless morality doesn't count, then what are the laws and the court systems and the prisons for?
Yeah.
And if that all counts, man, God loves you and he gave you a gift. You need to embrace it by faith and receive eternal life.
Yeah.
And if you do that, the Spirit will come live within your heart, and it'll change you from the inside.
I love it.
No,
I love
yeah.
that. Well, Kirk, as always, this has been amazing. People can go and watch Hellgate, and it's on the Kirk Cameron Show, YouTube, and they can go over there, right. Google it, find it, but it's on your YouTube page, and it's getting a lot of views. Like people are digging into this. Are you getting a lot of feedback?
Yeah, we're getting great feedback. It's 2.5 hours, so it's like it's a deep dive, right? It's not just like a quick little story or a reel. But yes, people are just thrilled to have the conversation, because there have been pastors who have told me, Kirk, I've believed what you're talking about for 20 years, but I've not had the courage to preach about it from the pulpit because I know that I'm going to catch hell for it. Many people have said that they've been there, but they just don't want to talk about it because it goes against tradition. But again, this is, I think, the beauty of opening up the Bible, asking good questions, being a good listener, and then having a commitment to wanting to honor God. If we do that, we can't go wrong.
Amen. Love it. Any final words, Dalton?
No, man, it was an honor to have you on and hear your take on all that.
Thanks,
I tried to not really, I like to learn as I go more so than deep dive into like several videos at a time. I like to actually get it out of the person as we're speaking. So it was good to hear your take on it. It's
good to hear
right here in real time.
And he's taking us hunting, so this is great. And Kirk, you've pigeonholed yourself into a hunting trip, so it's gonna happen.
I would love you forever and ever and ever. I would do anything in the world for you to take me down there.
Oh man, we got to do it, and then we'll go down and visit Michael Waddell, the bone collector down in Georgia. He took us deer hunting. That's lots of fun.
Oh man, my childhood right here. This is it.
Yeah, man.
This is it.
Well, I want you all to come. Billy, you need to come.
We're coming. I'm doing it. I've never hunted. I want to hunt. I'm excited. I'm pumped. And Kirk, people are going to check it out. Wait, go ahead. What are you going to say?
So my uncle died before he had all kinds of 3 different types of cancer, I think, and he had to sell everything he had, all of his guns, his vehicles, 4-wheelers, boats, and stuff. The one thing he ended up leaving me when he died was his Remington 1100 duck gun. And I have not been. I've shot it twice, but I've not gotten any birds with it. Never killed any birds with it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get a gator and some birds in Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, that would be fun. We should do it together.
I know if I kill a duck with that gun, I'll get emotional. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Kirk, you've heard all the dreams and hopes that we have, so you got to make them happen. And in the meantime, people are going to head over to Hellgate on the Kirk Cameron Show. Kirk, thanks so much.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, guys. Great to talk to you. Have a good night.
You too.